Welcome to part 2 of our video on the incredibly important roles the Federal Election Commission and the U.S. Election Assistance Commission play in safeguarding our elections and our democracy. I'm Starr Santos, Women Employed's Associate Director of Coalitions. Let's get into it. The Trump administration and their allies have never been shy about their attempts to compromise the election process. Trump and his friends have been charged with a variety of election-related crimes, and he is the first president in history to be convicted of a felony. 34 of them, actually, for a scheme to illegally influence the 2016 election. His 2020 loss led to false claims of voter fraud and violent attempts to overthrow the election. His legislative allies have introduced bills in states across the country and federally that would strip people of voting rights. The most recent of these, the SAVE Act. The bill requires voters to provide proof of citizenship in person to register to vote or update their registration. That means a passport, birth certificate, or proof of naturalization. It also requires that their last name match the name on their birth certificate. That would make it harder for all of us to vote, but especially married women, transgender folks, and low-income people. And the president has issued an executive order that would, quote, rein in independent agencies, including the Federal Election Commission and the U.S. Election Assistance Commission. What he really means is he'd hamstring them. What would it mean for those agencies to lose their independence? Let me break it down. Both the Federal Election Commission and the Election Assistance Commission were designed by Congress to be independent and nonpartisan. That independence is to ensure that they are not influenced by the president or other elected officials in order to keep the elections fair, free from corruption, and ensure the results reflect the will of the American people. No more than half of each commission's leaders can be from the same party, so that no party has undue influence. While both commissions help ensure the integrity of our elections, their missions are distinct. The Federal Election Commission, or FEC, was established in 1974 in response to alarming financial abuses of the Nixon campaign. The FEC administers and enforces campaign finance laws and has jurisdiction over campaigns for federally elected officials, like the president. They enforce laws that govern public disclosure of campaign funding, restrictions on campaign contributions and expenditures, and the public financing of presidential campaigns. They also investigate and prosecute violations and audit campaigns for compliance. The U.S. Election Assistance Commission, or EAC, was established in 2002 to improve the administration of elections and help Americans participate in the voting process. They work to protect the nation's election equipment, support election officials, provide timely and truthful information to American voters, and ultimately make elections safe, secure, accurate, and accessible. Together, these commissions ensure that you can vote confidently, safely, and without fear, and that information you receive about your candidates, your rights, and the voting process is truthful, accurate, and free from corruption. If this administration is successful in destroying the independence of the FEC and the EAC, it damages the very bedrock of our democracy, the vote. If election oversight is placed under the thumb of the president, we will no longer live in a democracy. Presidential control of elections is a hallmark of a dictatorship. When it comes to our elections and our voting rights, none of us can afford to be silent. We all must speak out loudly and fight for our democracy. We've got actions you can take to make a difference. Visit the link on your screen to learn what you can do.